Why do you still have a big distended belly even though you're not actually fat? Let's say you've been exercising, you've been eating right, and you've even been losing weight, but still your belly sticks out. And every time you eat anything, even if it's healthy, your belly becomes more bloated, more distended, and makes you look fat. It's super frustrating. And so that's why in this video, I'm going to share with you how to solve this problem. So stick around to the end. But before we get started, I'm Dr. Nick Zyrowski, and thanks for hanging out with me in today's video. Now, here's the reality. I've dealt with this issue myself. I have helped so many patients with it, and I work in clinical practice every day, and people come to me and say, you know what? Anytime I eat anything, I get this big distended belly, and it's so frustrating because I'm not fat, I'm a fit person, but I sure don't look like it. So here's the first thing that starts to happen when you're getting this big belly distension, and that is that you have inflammation in the gut lining. When you have inflammation in the gut lining, your body's going to respond to eating with swelling, bloating, distension. And here's the scary part. When you get inflammation in the gut lining, these are some of the minor symptoms. If you have inflammation, this is what's happening years before you ever get diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, or even worse, gastrointestinal cancer. So therefore, we have to make sure that we are doing everything we can to lower inflammation in our gut. And I'm going to share with you exactly how I do this towards the end of the video. So stick around to the end. Now, this isn't the only factor involved here. And this is why this issue of the distension every time you eat, having that big belly, but not actually being fat, is so frustrating because there's multiple pieces at play here. And it's not simple, but there is certainly a solution. Now, the next thing that we want to look at, and a big cause of this, is bacterial imbalance, okay? When we start to get bacterial imbalances, and let's say this bacteria that's in our large intestine starts to make its way to the small intestine, it causes a lot of problems for us. Every time you eat, because this bacteria is in the wrong place within your gut, you start having big issues. The food that you're eating starts to ferment, starts to put off a lot of gas, okay? And because of that gas buildup, you get this massive amount of distension in your belly. Now, the frustrating part about this is that it's not that you're eating some Twinkies and some really bad, Doritos and stuff like that. You could be eating something like a salad, for instance, something that's super healthy, and it still causes the same problem. And that's where the frustration hits like level 10. You're like, I'm eating so healthy and my belly is just still huge. And this is, once again, because of a bacterial imbalance and a bacterial overgrowth within the gastrointestinal system. So this is another reason that you'll get this massive amount of distension in your gut, having this big belly, even though you're not fat. Now, another factor at play here, remember, multiple layers here. Another factor that can cause this is low stomach acid, okay? So here's some of the symptoms that you may notice if you have low stomach acid. So that is going to be, you eat, and let's say that you have meat, for instance, and you start burping, you get a lot of gas, and it feels like the food is sitting like a rock in your stomach, like it's just not digesting. Well, the reality is low stomach acid causes all those things, and in fact, it'll actually cause your belly to get a lot of distension, okay? Once again, when we look at this issue, we can look at inflammation starting within the gastrointestinal system and then having this ripple effect across many systems. And you might be asking yourself, well, how did this all start? Well, there's a lot of factors at play here. Very low quality food in the United States, a lot of issues with having a lot of toxins such as glyphosate or pesticides in our food. Also, many people being put on antibiotics as a very small child for many years. I know that was a factor that played a huge role for me. As a child, having ear infections and getting the flu, I was always put on antibiotics probably once a year for the first 15 plus years of my life. So therefore, it wrecked my gut. And now you deal with all these issues later on in life. Now, another big factor that you could have here is just poor digestion in general. When you eat food, your gut's just not able to break it down properly. And so it just starts sitting in your gut. It starts to ferment once again. It creates a lot of gas, a lot of bloating, and then your belly becomes distended. So sluggish digestion, poor digestion is certainly a factor here. Now, another thing we could look at is food sensitivities. Okay, you've probably heard of this term before. Food sensitivities, meaning that you're eating food, whether it's strawberries or protein or anything that's healthy, but yet your body is still not responding well to it, okay? So food sensitivities, when you think of these, just don't think of bad, unhealthy foods that we know aren't good for us, but even foods that are healthy, such as strawberries, blueberries, vegetables. Food sensitivities start to develop because we have inflammation in our gut, and our gut lining becomes impaired, and they tend to get worse and worse over time. And then the frustrating thing about identifying if you're sensitive to a food is that you can have a response from a particular food 24 to 48 hours after you eat it. So therefore, it can be a little bit tricky to identify it. But when we think of food sensitivities, not only do we want to pull out foods that we know don't serve us well. Like, for instance, I see so many people who go, yeah, I get a little bloated when I eat dairy. And I think to myself, well, then you probably cut dairy out of your diet, right? They're like, no, I didn't. Well, you should cut these foods out of your diet that don't sit well with you, okay? So whenever you notice that you are sensitive to a particular food, remove it from your diet. That's the smart thing to do, okay? But remember, food sensitivities, really at the root of them is an inflammatory issue in the gut that has impaired the gut lining, which is now going and causing an immune system issue, okay? Now, another serious cause of bloating, where you have this giant belly, but yet you're not actually fat, is due to something called ascites. Now, this is a very serious concern, but it is much less often seen, especially in those who are healthier individuals in the general public. And that is going to be where you get a big amount of fluid buildup within the abdomen, okay? This is typically due to severe liver disease or even cirrhosis of the liver. Now, you're typically going to see rapid weight gain that doesn't make any sense, that swollen abdomen, a lot of nausea, and loss of appetite. Once again, this isn't something that you're going to fix on your own. You're going to actually go to a doctor's office to get this problem fixed. This is where you need to seek medical care, but it is something that's not typically seen very often, okay? And so here's where we really get into how do we solve these problems, okay? How do we solve all the issues? Bacterial overgrowth, inflammation, low stomach acidity, poor digestion. Well, the thing is that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to change our lifestyle, and then we're going to want to combine that with vitamins and supplementation, okay? And the reason for that is because you have a very complex problem that is very difficult to overcome by taking any one piece of these different measures I'm about to share with you on how to fix it, okay? So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the description below to the supplement protocol, the exact supplement protocol that I use for this issue that we're talking about today. How to lower the inflammation in your gut, how to fix the slow digestion, how to support the stomach alkalinity, how to support the stomach acidity, and how to kill down the bacterial overgrowth in your gut. So links in the description below to the kit that we use for this. Now, let's talk about lifestyle, because you need to combine supplementation along with lifestyle. The first thing that I want you to start utilizing is things like intermittent fasting, okay? When you start intermittent fasting and you're dealing with these gut distension problems, the intermittent fasting really gives your gut the opportunity to reset, okay? And when you give your gut the chance to reset, you're gonna start killing down bacterial overgrowth. You're going to start getting rid of yeast and candida. You're gonna find that you start to reduce inflammation in the gut. You start to balance the pH out. It just helps give those who have sluggish digestion a little bit of time to reset, okay? Intermittent fasting on a daily basis is something that's really good for those who are dealing with any type of gastrointestinal disorder. Now, the other thing that you want to do here is cut out sugar, okay? There's nothing that feeds bacterial overgrowth like a lot of carbs and sugar. So, and there's also nothing that feeds inflammation like a lot of carbs and sugar. So really start cutting out sugar. It's very important, and go lower carb. So if you do this, it'll help get rid of the bacterial overgrowth to an extent. It'll help with the inflammation, and it'll also just help balance out the gut. So sugar's got to go so that you're not feeding the very things you don't want in your gut. Parasites, yeast, all of that, okay? Now, we also talked about food sensitivities. You want to make sure that you're removing the trigger foods, okay? Start keeping a food journal and write down the foods that you're eating. And when you identify a food that doesn't sit well with you, remove it from your diet, okay? I come across so many people who literally are unwilling to remove the dairy, or unwilling to remove the gluten, even though they know it's causing massive problems for them. If you identify a food, which I just mentioned, the two top ones that are typically problematic for people, remove them from your diet. It's the smart thing to do because otherwise you will continue to push that inflammatory cascade in your gut and create more problems for you. The other thing you want to do is make sure that you're focusing on eating clean, okay? Make sure you're eating whole foods, right? Remove the sugar, remove the processed foods, eat whole foods. Think meat and vegetables. If this confuses you, like, I don't know how to eat healthy, think meat and vegetables, and then you have your answer. Now, here is what you really have to understand. At the end of the day, you have to combine the lifestyle and you have to combine the clinical support of supplementation, and as a result of that, you will find yourself in a much better place. This problem of having a big distended belly, even though you're not actually fat, is a very frustrating problem that can go on for 10, 20 years and even beyond that. So work on fixing it right now. It does not get better without massive effort, right? You have to put massive intervention in order to get results. And this is how you do it. So link in the description below to the full support pack and even an educational program to help further along your knowledge on this topic. And so you'll click that in the link below, get access to that. And if you enjoyed this topic, I think you'll really love this one over here next.